Hello again, everybody. So, what are we doing in this video? We're going to be testing the strength of these panels. Now, you may notice there's more than one here. There is the original one that I made in the last video. This one used painter's cloth, like a canvas, and the Titebond 2 glue, and the Rust-Oleum paint. I also covered the back side of it. Now, I didn't cut out the seams and all that. I need to get a better pair of scissors. My scissors are kind of dull, but I didn't cut out the seams and all that, so it's a little lumpy on the back. But as far as working, it should be fine. Everything is sealed up and should be waterproof. And yeah, it doesn't look bad. Besides the fact that I could have sanded it and made it look better, but it's not too bad, and I think a couple more coats of paint, it would be really nice and smooth. Now this one is, because of some of the suggestions, this one, the fabric is bed sheet. And what I did is I took the sheet and pulled it kind of tight. I put the glue first, of course, pulled it kind of tight on it, and took and squeegeed it. Now the bed sheet is a lot harder. You can hear it's like a plastic. Of course, so is this one. Yeah, it's like I'm dropping a piece of plastic. But now the sheet is a lot harder to work with, and I don't know why, but after the glue started drying, I started getting some bubbles. You can see the bubbles in it. This side is a lot worse. I think that's because the sheet is such a fine weave that the air can't go out through the fabric. So I don't know if it's the glue off-gassing or what, but I ended up with a lot of bubbles. But of course I've got the layer of glue, the bed sheet, squeegeed all on, and then another layer of glue, let that dry, another layer of glue, let that dry, and 2 coats of paint. Exactly the same as this one. The only difference is the material itself. So, what are we going to do with these 2 panels? Okay, what we need to know, how strong and resilient are these panels? There is really no flex, or very little flex. There is a little bit. And same with this one. And yeah, these 2 are my poor man's fiberglass panels, made of different materials. And what we're going to do today is some pretty rough testing. Neither one of these will probably survive all of the tests, because the last one I have in mind is something that would never happen, but still I'm going to try it just because it may be kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, let's see what we can do to test these out. Okay, so what do we have here? Looking for some way to test, slinging mud and water and stuff on it, or on these panels. Well, I figured out maybe this might be kind of a fun way to do it. I've got them strapped to the back of the four-wheeler, and what we'll do is we'll go for a little ride through the water and mud and stuff, and just see if they'll take having a little bit of mud thrown on them. Should be kind of fun. that's the way that you do scientific research. Let's see, it might be a little better. Yeah, the four-wheeler is slightly muddy now. These panels that we're trailing along behind me, kind of covered. They've been hit with rocks, mud, and some other stuff, and also some stuff on my glasses. Yeah, anyway, got it on my arms too. But that's what happens when you go right in the mud. You're going to get mud on you. So, all in good fun. Alright, so what is the next thing if you had just gotten your car or truck or whatever muddy? What would be the next thing that you would do? More than likely, you would either spray it off with a garden hose, or you would take it to a car wash. Let's just spray it with a hose and see what that does, if anything. We'll just Alright, so with that done, how do they look? Well, they look identical to the way that they looked before. No damage whatsoever to either one. They have both held up really well. Yeah. Look here. You can see surface looks the same, and surface looks the same. Alright. Okay, so what could this test possibly be? We have a leaf blower that has a piece of pipe taped into the end of it with a hole. This hole goes all the way. I just heated this pipe up and stuck it through the PVC here at an angle. And I have a funnel in the top of it right here. And in this container there is some sandblasting sand and some small gravels and stuff like that. And over here is our panel. And I made it so that I can just kind of switch them around, flop them around, and try the other one. What we're going to do, or what this is supposed to simulate, let me turn you around. Okay, so what I figure this kind of simulates is like when you're driving on the road and you get behind a truck or something like that, and it's kicking little pieces of gravel, sand, or whatever up off the road. Or just, I mean, I know you've seen cars that the front of them are pitted from, you know, basically following too close to 18-wheelers and stuff. You end up with all kinds of little chips. Well, what I'm wanting to do is simulate like, I don't know, this is probably about a year's worth of stuff hitting it. But let's just put what I've got in that cup through. Let's see how much we got. All right, we got about 10 ounces. We got about 10 ounces of stuff in there. So what we'll do, we'll run that 10 ounces through that contraption, and we'll flip it over and run another 10 ounces through the same contraption but on the other panel. So let's just set this up, let it run, and
See what it does.
See? Got chips all the way around, pretty much all over. Little rock chips. Yep. Of course, regular anything would chip with that happening. Okay, here we go. Got another 10 ounces of blasting sand and some pebbles. So let's test the other panel. This is the panel that uses the painter's cloth. The other one, of course, is the bed sheet. Alright, well, that was a lot of stuff. Mostly dirt and stuff, I guess. Don't see any more rock chips, really. Okay, so now that we have both of our panels good and dirty again, where would you go with your car if you wanted to wash it? Well, I would go to a car wash. So I think that's what we're going to do next. Take it to the car wash, spray it with that big high pressure wand and see how it holds up to that. After having a few little chips from the rocks and stuff, just let us know. Alright, so here we are, we're at the car wash. Got the little test piece down here. I was going to try to get it to hook on here, won't work. That doesn't open far enough. So I'm just going to stick it on the ground, spray it off, and let's just see what happens here. Okay, so let's see what that did. Guess I could hang them like that. They won't, as long as I don't touch it very much. Okay. Let's see, is that scratched or is that just, okay, I think it's just where it's drying right there. It might be a little dull there. That's where the rocks and stuff is hitting it. Not really even seeing any of the chips. It might not have really been chips that I was seeing before. May have just been dirt. But they look good. Nothing that we have done so far has hurt either one of them. I will tell you though, that's about to change. Alright, so to give both of them a fair chance, this one was wider, so I cut it in half. So now they're both the same width. Now what we're going to test this time is its strength this way. How much strength do they have just pushing on them like that? So we have to set it up so that it is actually a fair test. Let's see what we can figure out here. Okay, so what I've come up with here, we have two concrete blocks spaced about whatever that distance is apart. What we're going to do, I've got a control which is just the foam with no reinforcement at all, and you can tell just by barely pushing on it. Yeah, like either one of these, I can't do that, not with just one hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how much weight that can take. I'm going to get some rocks, stack them up on it, and see how much weight that this can take before it folds down and breaks or collapses. I have a starter. This is off of a 350 Chevy, and let's just see. Let's go back through everything again. Here we have just the foam. See if it will hold this. The roundness may cause some problems here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Would not even hold it. Okay, let's try our bed sheet. See what this does. No. Well, not much deflection at all. Okay, let's try our rocks here. Lay them on top of it too. They haven't any deflection. We're having a little bit of deflection now.
Not a whole lot though. It's holding up pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, I mean that is a lot of weight, and where it's rounded right here, that is also, all the weight is displaced in the middle mainly, and it wants to wrap around. So yeah. See what else heavy I can get to throw on there. Okay, so now we have the starter on there. Well, how about an alternator? Well, okay.
That's pretty good.
That's quite a bit of weight. Okay, let's see how our other one does. There was a little bit of deflection. I can actually see it when I put it up like that. Let's try it again here. Yeah, I can see a little bit of deflection there. Alright. Well, we've seen the bed sheet holds up really well. Let's see about the painter's cloth. Ouch.
Okay, a little bit. That's kind of a little bit off.
Yeah, balance it more. Okay, here's the starter. Now I may have to do some measurements to see which one deflects more. It's hard to get that to say on there, but I don't know, that one is deflecting pretty good. Actually, is it? That one is deflected pretty good. The bed sheet may actually have a little more strength. Okay. Well, we also almost had a, I think we almost had a puncture there. Alright. Alright, so we had a catastrophic failure of our regular foam. I cut another piece. This one of course broke, but I cut another piece so that we can try it out. And I thought maybe we could do a little bit more of an impact trial. Put the foam right on there. Take a rock, hold it up here. This way we're dropping it from exactly the same place every time. It's coming from top of the ladder, right about here. As you can see, straight through. Alright, now we will try the bed sheet with the same rock, same height. Scratched it, I guess it kind of cracked it a little too. You'll be able to actually see, maybe, yeah, there we go. You can actually see the foam in there now. But it did not break. I'll have to watch the footage to see if it actually deflected any. And we will try one more time. Hitting the same side. That time it just kind of scratched the paint just a little. Alright. Now we have the painter's cloth. And we'll take the rock. 3, 2, 1. Scratch. I think this material is a little tougher because it scratched it, but it did not puncture it. Try it one more time. And then we may just step up our rock size. 3, 2, 1. It bounced good. As you can see, it pushed it in, but it didn't actually puncture all the way through like it did with the other one. Alright, interesting. This is not as strong as this one. We do have another test. Alright, so it can stand having a solder and alternator stacked on top of it, a big old pile of rock stacked on top, a big rock dropping on it. Can it survive 10,000 pounds passing over it without breaking? I doubt it. It's going to break it, but let's try it anyway. I'm feeling destructive. How about y'all? Okay, now here's the bed sheet one. Here we go. Okay. So, with poor man's fiberglass, running over it with a 10,000 pound bus gets it dirty. Okay, we're going to tear this up. You know what? Okay. Yeah, it made a little hole in it. Okay, let's try the other one. Let's try this other one.
That one's tore up.
Is it? The paint come off. Okay, by running, if you build your car out of this and it gets run over by a bus, it's going to scratch the paint. But other than that, you'll probably be fine. Look at that. You can see it raked the paint off of it there. It scratched it. But as far as stiffness, it still is not broken. This piece of foam that we just run over by a bus is not broken because it was wrapped in poor man's fiberglass. Same with this one. The foam is broken, but it's because of dropping a rock on it. But it's still holding together after that. I'm wondering if you could make a composite of painter's cloth, let that dry good, and then maybe do the bed sheet over top of that. These both work really well. You can see it's solid still. All right. Well, I think poor man's fiberglass is the way to go. I will be making the body out of it. I got to get some more foam. I got to get some material and a big old jug of that glue. And we'll build a car body. Anyway, I guess that's going to be about it for this video. Appreciate everybody watching. See y'all on the next one.